This video is on the objective distinguish between one- and two-tailed tests and understand possible conclusions. And this is number 1, so this is the first video on a question related to this objective from your Newton Alta homework. Now you've seen me go over in previous, hopefully you've seen me in previous sections, previous objectives, talk about one-tailed and two-tailed tests. I'll go over it again here. And this is part of the process of hypothesis testing that I've been going over in the past several objectives. Right. So remember, in the process of hypothesis testing, the first step is there's a claim that's made. Right? A claim is made about some parameter, like mu or p, the population mean, the population proportion, whatever. So some claim is made. Now it doesn't have to be these two, but some claim is made about a population. And then from that claim we form the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. That null hypothesis was labeled H sub 0, and this always involved equality. And this is also what we were going to assume is true when we go to test the claim. So it'll look like this, that some parameter is equal to some value, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Now, in this particular text, or in the Newton Alta homework here, what they're showing you is they only use the equal one, the equal sign, because that's what's going to be assumed to be true when performing a hypothesis test. But just know that if you're looking up, null hypothesis or hypothesis testing, on Google or YouTube or something, or looking at other books, you may see the greater than or equal to, less than or equal to symbol show up as well. But I put this one in a bubble here, a circle. They're only going to be writing the equals one in this book. All right, and then you have your alternative hypothesis, which is the opposite of this. There's an N in there, alternative. And that's labeled H sub A, or H1 in some books. And this is contradictory to the null hypothesis. And it doesn't involve equality. And the way the alternative hypothesis looks is going to tell you what kind of a test you're running. If it's that the parameter is not equal to some value or different from some value, well, then it could be on either side, so two-sided, two-tailed test, or a two-sided test in that case. Or it could look like this, where the parameter is greater than some value. Now, being greater than some value is, on a number line, is being to the right of that value, so this is indicative of a right-tailed test. Or it could be that the parameter is less than some specific value. And again, that would be indicative, being less than a value on a number line is being left of it. So that would tell me that I'm doing what's called a left-tailed test. And it's really that simple to identify. If you set up your hypotheses correctly, and you just look at how the alternative hypothesis looks, and from that you can say what kind of a test you have. And that's actually this question here. Now, again, if you're unfamiliar with the topic, you want to see more about it, please click on more instruction and see what they have to say. Look at their videos, their notes, their examples, and maybe that'll help you. But here all we're asked to do is identify the type of hypothesis test below, where the null hypothesis is that some value called x is equal to 10.2, and the alternative hypothesis is that this value called x is greater than 10.2. And again, focus on when you're determining what kind of a test you're running, you focus on how does the alternative hypothesis look. It is the value of this parameter I'm looking at is greater than a value, greater than 10.2. So that's to the right. This is going to be a right-tailed test. And that's all we're asked to identify here. And let me see if there's a part 2 to this. There is not. All right, so very, very simple that. Very, very simple, and hopefully that video helped you a little bit, explaining how you can tell what kind of a test you're in. And I'll do another video on this objective, coming up. So again, thank you very much for watching.